Gentlemen, when it comes to classic menswear, whether you be a small man, medium man, large man, extra large man, or extra extra large man, there is one rule that is supreme, and that is fit. Fit is king. Fit is everything. However, for the extra large man, getting a proper fit can be quite a challenge, especially in one of the most essential pieces in our wardrobe, and that would be, of course, shirts. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Shirts and the extra large man, here on Big Pretty Man. Hi, and welcome back to Big Pretty Man, the channel for the extra large man who wants to live his life large and in charge. I'm your host, Timothy Big Pretty Crowe. I'm a wardrobe and lifestyle consultant for the extra large man. Gentlemen, when you're an extra large man, it can be quite a challenge to find clothes that are in your size. That's one challenge. But another bigger challenge is to actually find clothes that fit properly. This has become almost impossible to do without some tailoring. And one of the most important areas for the extra large man is his shirt, because shirts really are the foundation of most outfits. And the proper fit in a shirt is going to affect the fit of a jacket. It's going to affect the fit of a tie. It's going to affect the overall look of your entire wardrobe. So therefore, to have a properly sized shirt becomes really kind of essential if you want to have that nice, immaculate look, which we extra large, sophisticated, gentlemanly men want to have. However, you'll find that's a tall order to achieve. Biggest reason is because most of the companies that do make shirts in our extra large or extra large size usually are going by your neck size and the length of your arm from your shoulder down to your wrist. And actually that is a good first step to go by. However, it creates some problems with the shirt that you get. Because we're such bigger men, they're compensating, they're doing that measurement and they're compensating for our chest and our waist, which are usually quite large. Now, normally there should be about a 3 size drop from your chest to your waist, but that's for these regular size men. For us extra large men, no. Try more of a barrel, or even sometimes the waist it's either like the same size like a barrel, or sometimes even that midsection, that waist can be a little bit bigger. So we have, that needs to be compensated for, and unfortunately a lot of the shirt companies do not make that compensation in their measurements. So what ends up happening is that the shirt is usually too billowy at the bottom, and also that they're going by width, and the width ends up being too much across the chest and under the arms. This becomes very obvious when you put a shirt on. A lot of times you put these shirts on under the arms, you'll have a lot of extra material. And in fact, if you stretched your arms out, you look like one of these flying squirrels. I always wonder if I could glide in one of those shirts. I don't know if I'll try that, but it would be interesting. And so that's the way it kind of looks. You kind of look like a literal Batman just flying around. And it was really kind of uncomfortable. It makes you look, it's not really uncomfortable. It makes you look kind of unseemly. It does look a little sloppy. So, what you really want to get is shirts that are more set to your size. Now, to do that, you've got to know what to look for. So we're going to go over a few of those points. Number one, we'll talk about the collar. No matter whether it's a widespread or more traditional collar, it's very important that the collar fits your neck correctly. Now, that when you pull it to, you should be able to easily button it. You shouldn't have to be trying to squeeze it for like you're choking yourself to death. Which sometimes can happen. Usually, though, with these extra large shirts, this is not a big problem if they're going by the measurement of your neck and your sleeve. If you give the right measurement, it should fit. However, one way the classic way to test it is if you can slip 2 fingers between your neck and your collar. There's a problem with that test in that your neck kind of has a lot of give. So usually even a tight collar, you can still get your fingers in there. So it's not really the best of tests. Now, there are some gurus that say, lay the shirt out, do a measurement, check with your neck. It should be maybe a quarter of an inch, or larger than the actual measurements of your neck. That's getting really very specific about it. I think there's a little bit of a just flat easier test, and that's just using a little common sense. When you put the shirt on, and you test and it buttons, and there's no pull, that's a good sign. Another one is if you stand and look in a mirror, and if you look at the shirt and hold your head up straight. If you look in the mirror and you see, kind of look to the side and see if there's any neck kind of bulging over. If you have any neck that's coming over, if you cannot see the top of this fold very clear, it's probably a little too tight. Also, if you do slip your fingers in, just make sure that it's not, you're not pressing in on your neck. Just slide them in without pressing on the neck, and feel if it's loose enough. Be able to move your head side to side, back and forth, and see if it's giving you any pull on either side. I think a basic eye check and the finger check when you're making sure you're not pushing on the neck. If it's comfortable, if it's not making your head look like like a turtle sticking out, then you probably got. And if you went by the neck measurements with the order, then your collar should be okay. Now, another really important part, and usually with the neck and the collar, that's going to be okay. But this other part is where we usually run into some trouble, and that is the yoke across the back of the shoulders. And across the front of your shoulders, and the hem that runs that links it to the sleeve. Here's where we usually find the problems. Here's the way it should be. The shirt, the top of the sleeve and the hem to the top of the sleeve should come to right at the top of your shoulder, like right here, right at the end of your shoulder here, on either side. As you can see with this shirt that I'm wearing, it's off by about that much. I can live with that. Also across your back, it should go square across the back of your shoulder blades. Well, just above your shoulder blades, between your neck, between the top of your neck and where your shoulder blades start. That's where that yoke line should run. Okay? So you want to do that. And a good way to test to see if the shoulders are working, put your arms out and do this. If there's any pull across your back, then it's probably far too loose. Far too tight. If it's like really loose, you cannot. If you do this and you still can't feel the shirt against your back, then it's probably too loose. So if you do this and you feel a tug, too tight. If you can't feel the shirt, too loose. That's a general rule that I go by, and I found it works pretty well. Now, one of the real problem spots, and actually this starts with this stitch not being up proper to where your shoulder is here under the arms. Now, under the arms, the ring of the shirt here should actually be up just touching the bottom parts of your armpit, where your armpit kind of ends, just almost even with your nipple of your breast. That's where it should be. And one of the things that you don't want it too tight up under here and perfectly square, because if you do that and you lift your arm, it's going to pull your shirt loose. You want a little bit of give, and this shirt's actually a good example. It's a little billowy, this shirt, but I like a little extra room. And, it should have a little bit of room here, just a little. You see, there's that little bit of room. It doesn't look too much. It doesn't look too tight around my bicep. And it's giving me good leeway. Now, if you do this, what you do then is you do this. If you do this, both sides, and you don't feel your shirt pull automatically up out of the tuck of your pants, it's probably good. If you do this and your shirt raises up, yeah, that's up and in too tight. But if you're standing and you're having this huge billowing under your arm, it's too loose. And the problem, like I said, the problem is when they are going by the length of your sleeve and just your neck, you're probably going to have a lot they're going to judge the width by your neck. They're going to by that measurement, and you're probably going to get a lot of this billowing out to the side. which can look a lot very sloppy. Now, there's really, you could take it in and have it the shirt tailored. They could take some of that material out and sew it in, but to have that type of tailoring done on a shirt that you got off the rack, it's going to probably be a little too expensive. And considering the expense, it would probably be cheaper just to get a made-to-order shirt. Made-to-order shirts for extra large men is something I really recommend. It's not really that expensive, not really that much more expensive than just buying an off-the-rack shirt if you know how and where to do it. And it'll save you a lot of grief, and it's going to look good. They're going, and even that is kind of hard to find. Now, one place, and it's a fairly new company that I would recommend, is a company called Short and Fat. And they're playing off of the Big and Tall. Short and Fat. For men that are vertically not that gifted, but very blessed, as they say for their company, horizontally. Men like me. I'm 5'8", weigh 330 pounds. I'm a perfect candidate for Short and Fat. Now, Short and Fat was started by the very charismatic Blake Adams and his partner Jeff Martin, who wanted to come up with a shirt for a man similar to my stature. As I said, vertically challenged and horizontally blessed. And Blake, I love that term. So what they've come up with is that you can go online and they'll give you directions on the measurements that you need to take. You need to get a measuring tape, and they'll actually send you a free one if you don't have one. But you need to take a garment measuring tape and measure. They'll give you a whole list of measurements to make around your neck, around your bicep, across your chest in different places, across your waist, up your back, across your back, all of that. There are several. They've got a whole list of them that you need to take, so that they can then send it to their tailors and create a shirt that is tailor-made to fit you. And if it comes back and it doesn't fit exactly what you want, you can send it back and they'll correct it. That's part of their warranty. So, and now one shirt, from what I've seen on their website, runs about $127. That's a bit much, but hey, for a tailored shirt, that's actually pretty awesome. That's pretty good. And they also have this membership, this membership club that if you join and you pay a membership fee, you can get the shirts about 35% off. That would make it about $97, and you can pay and you can get one shirt a month, or one shirt every 2 months, or one shirt every 3 months. And I think that most people could find one of those plans to work for their budget. And for $97 to get a very well made to order fitted shirt, it's well worth it. And first, I want to say that they're not endorsing me in any way. I'm getting no money for saying this, though I wouldn't mind to get some. Blake, if you're hearing that, I'll gladly be a spokesman. I think you got a great product. But I as usual, I'm just giving information and places to go that for an extra large man to look his best. That's what I'm trying to do for you. It's not about a profit thing for me. So I would really advise that you look up his website. I will put a link to it down below in the description, and check it out. Trust me, it's going to save you a lot of grief. Now, on another types of shirts, of dress shirts, that I'll talk about would be short sleeve dress shirts. Now, quite frankly, I don't really see the point in a short sleeve dress shirt. I just don't. Now when it comes to casual shirts, casual button-up shirts like summer shirts, my linen shirts, yeah, I like a short sleeve shirt. I think they're great for the summer, but that's not a dress shirt. That's not something I'm tucking down into my pants. If it's a shirt I got to tuck down in my pants, I want long sleeves. And quite truthfully, even if it's warm and you want to put on a dress shirt, then I would advise just rolling the sleeves up past your elbows. Do a quick 2-fold over, get up over your elbows. And even if you don't, even on a hot day, dress shirts are usually very breathable, especially if they're a cotton blend. They're very breathable. They're very thin. And really, how hot do you get from your elbow to your wrist? how hot do you really get? So therefore, you know, I'd say if you're wanting to wear a dress shirt, anything that requires a tie, you know, then put on the long sleeve shirt. If you feel like if you're doing some sort of work or doing something that you feel like may mess up your shirt, then roll it up to past your elbow, and it still looks fine. However, and just so that you know, you should never wear a tie with a short sleeve shirt. It just doesn't look right. It looks kind of childish and silly. The only exception to that rule would be people who work as supervisors or managers in construction, in the construction business. You know, when they have to go out to the field. For whatever reason, I think they kind of grandfathered it in because they did it so much. They can wear a tie with the short sleeve shirt, and that is the only exception to that rule. You know, if you're going to wear a shirt that requires a tie or tucked in, make it a rule: tie and tucked, long sleeves. Untucked, you can go with a short sleeve. It's a good rule to go by. Now, the last couple of things I want to talk about are how to wear a shirt with the rest of your outfit. Now, first, I would say, I didn't say before, that the cuff of your shirt should come down, the end of your sleeve should come down to just at the start of the ball of your thumb. That's going to be very important for when you put on your jacket. When you put on your jacket, you know, the jacket, you know, more classic, I always say the Frank Sinatra style, it should come down to just below your wrist, so that your shirt cuff does stick out the bottom. Now, another thing, if you are in the position where it's like, Tim, I can't really afford those made-to-order shirts. Even the short and fat's a bit of a stretch for me. I have to go off rack, you know. So I am having to deal with billowy, you know, flying squirrel underarms. Well, you know, sometimes you got to do what you can do, and there is where, once again, my rules on big men and vests come in so handy. Yeah, because let me demonstrate. Now, as you can see here, I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts, my yellow and white pinstripe shirt, and it is one of my favorites. I do like yellow. In fact, a lot of people will comment that I have a love of blue and yellow going together, and it's true. I think it's a great look. That's me. And of course, one thing about this shirt is that it does have the French cuff, and I do have a dual set of cufflinks in. And while I'm here, just real quick, I would recommend that. I think that barrel shirts, the ones with the buttons, are great. I think that you could use those. I think they are good for either formal or informal wear. However, to class it up a bit, when you really want to put it on, when you really want people to notice you, and you want to give that extra sophisticated man look, you need a couple of French cuff shirts. I'd recommend, at least with a nice dress white shirt, you need at least one with the French cuff. Also, maybe a powder blue shirt with the French cuff. That'll be your decision. Definitely get one with the white, and get yourself a couple of cufflinks. They just, when you have them on and they're coming out from your jacket sleeve, they just add such a layer of class, such a GQ look. I highly advise it. But anyway, back to the shirt. I do love this shirt. It is one of my favorites. However, it's got some sizing issues. But yes, they went by my collar, and the collar is perfect. You see, standing here, no bulge over. It works. The sleeve actually comes down to where it should, just below the ball of my thumb, the base of my thumb. That's right. So all that's good. But the yoke and the shoulders, and especially under the arms of these sleeves. As you can see, my shoulder ends here, and that's off by about, maybe an inch and a half. But And I could probably live with that. But, you know, notice it makes my shoulders look like they're slumping because it's so wide. It should be set up to about here. However, and that is actually showing even more the billowing under the sleeves. Oh my, and in the side. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Flying squirrel. The flying man. You know what? I think after I do this video, I'm on the third floor here in this house, and I think that I'm going to jump out the window and see if I can fly. So check the Philadelphia news tomorrow to see either the miracle of my flight or where they're holding the funeral services. I'm joking, but this is just way too much material. But I love this shirt. I've actually considered having it tailored. But what's to save the day? That was what I always call an extra large man's best friend, or one of them, along with the suspenders. I've got my vest. That's right, and yes, it is blue. So I'm going to go put. Now, what I'm going to do, this is going to help to hide a little bit of this. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put my vest on this. So this is a double one. Remember what I said? Great economy there. I'm going to put this vest on and bring it. Get this straightened up here, like that. Now, if you notice, if I give this shirt a little bit of a tug down a little bit inside my pants here, let's take up a little bit of that and pull this in, button this up. Show a button from the bottom, but I don't have time. I button this up. Now, as you see, it's already kind of helping the sleeves out, and it is going to actually help the look. So by putting this on, it's gonna bring in, the sleeves are still look a little billowy, but look, not as bad, because it's kind of trapping in that excess material on the side, because the vest is more properly fitted to my size. So as you can see, it looks almost proper. Sleeves don't look too billy. It looks like it's almost that right amount, doesn't it? Because once again, the good old waistcoat is hiding my sins. So if you do have shirts that you have to come off the rack and they're a little too billowy, put on the vest. The vest is going to pull in that extra material on the sides, and while pull it down a little bit, and therefore it'll just look like you've got enough room. See, it almost looks like a fitted shirt now, because the sleeve is right, the collar's right, and now the sides look right. So not only does the vest hide the suspenders, which I would normally have on underneath the vest, they'll be connected to my belt, which, by the way, is also going to help keep that shirt in place. But also, it's helping hide this excess material, making the shirt look better fit. So once again, thank God for waistcoats. Well, guys, that's about all I've got on shirts today. If you do have any questions, then please shoot me a line down below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll answer it best I can, or I'll give you some resources if I don't know. And while you're there, if once again, if you're enjoying my content, if you're enjoying my channel, then please, hit this little King Henry head with my pretty face and give me a join. I'd love to have you. Also, you can contact me through Facebook, for Instagram, through Twitter. Love to hear from my fans and my subscribers. So, you know what? Get that proper fit shirt, dress to the nines, and you know what? You do that and you'll stay pretty.